Hey, how fun was being on Mortal Kombat?
A lot of fun. It was my apprenticeship into movie making. It was my first movie job. I was on as a part of Robin Shu's martial art team, so I got to work with Hong Kong stunt team and got to work with Keith Cook and a bunch of other guys. So I learned a lot about how to do stunts, using my martial arts and gymnastics ability in stunts. And I realised that I wanted to be an actor as well. So, and because of Mortal Kombat, I was able to do Star Wars. The reason I got into martial arts was because of movies, action films, watching them, and I wanted to get into films. So it really has a big part of my life.
Sure. You also, Daniel, how did you feel about playing that part of Boba Fett? I mean, how was it personally for you?
Well, personally, I didn't know what Star Wars was, so when I went into the movie, I really hadn't heard of Star Wars, so I think that's why I got the role. But, I mean, being able to play a character like Boba Fett, when I was in the movie, I didn't realize who he was. It was until I came to Celebration 2, and I had 8 big bodyguards that wouldn't let anyone touch me or see me or anything. I was like, I'm famous. But it's always a good pickup line with the girls, you know. Daniel Logan doesn't really work so much, but when you throw the name Boba Fett into it, they go, what? He can have my number.
Great, thanks.
Next question.
Well, I was going to ask Ray Park what initially got you into martial arts, and I did have a second.
My dad and TV movies. I was, you know, I'm 40 years old, so back in the 80s they had like the Water Margin and Monkey Magic on TV and Bruce Lee and then it was Jackie Chan and Jet Li, so that was, and Star Wars of course. Star Wars was the first film I saw when I was 7, and the lightsabers, and when Luke was being trained by Yoda, and he was doing handstands and somersaults, I was like, right, I want to learn martial arts, but I want to be able to do what Luke Skywalker was doing, so that's why I went to gymnastics.
What has been your favorite project?
Star Wars. Hopefully George Lucas is watching this. No, yeah, Star Wars. I mean, you can't really beat that experience. I didn't really get to work on anything else bigger than Star Wars. I mean, Ray, you got G.I. Joe and X-Men, so for me, I only really had Star Wars. I love Star Wars.
I've been asked this question, what's my favourite role? When I get to work, they're my favourite roles. You know, any role that I get to work in do become my favourite because you're actively working. But I feel very lucky that if it wasn't for Mortal Kombat, maybe George wouldn't have heard, or Nick Gillard, the stunt coordinator, wouldn't have heard about me, and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to go in and meet with everyone and audition for a Darth Maul. And because of Star Wars and Darth Maul, it's got me other roles like. It's helped me to go through the door. People go, hey, that guy was Darth Maul, let's get to see what he's like, get him in and see if he fits for this. And because of Star Wars, I got X-Men and so on and so on. So I'm really thankful, and I'd love to play, you know, Darth Maul again, now that he survives. And of course, you know, I would insist on doing the whole, because I've seen it in the comics and the toys, is where he has the whole tattooed body. I'd love to do that just for a pure discipline aspect of it as well, to be really focused and show how crazy Darth Maul can be. Thank you.
Next question.
This question is for both of you. What do you always wish people would ask you that they never do?
I've never thought about it like that. I've answered the same question a lot, but I don't mind answering those questions because when you're working on a movie, you never think. I never thought in a million years that I was going to be invited to a convention and do a Q&A and sign autographs and talk about things that I was doing on the film. So when I was asked, my very first year of doing conventions, way back like 10 years ago. And you get asked these questions, and because it was such a long time ago, you really go back in your mind to how long did the makeup take, and you get asked a lot of questions. And so it's good for me to remember, to be asked these questions and to remember my time on Star Wars, because it was the best time of my life. It was my first big movie job, and so I was like on a high, you know, like 22 years old, and like you said, Star Wars, and it was great, you know. I've never thought about that question.
Well, no, the only question that comes to my mind is like, the question I get asked every single day I'm in the convention is like, so what was it like working with George Lucas? You know? I mean, great. But yeah, no, we get asked quite a bit. I mean, you'd be surprised on some of the questions you get asked. You have to come back with a creative answer.
The good one is that you've, and it's not knocking anyone, but it's because I get nervous speaking to other actors and get excited, but you'd be explaining about something and there's someone else there, and then they'll ask you the same question. If they're standing there in the conversation, I think because everyone gets really excited. You know? So it's good to, I like doing the conventions, I like to share the experience. I only started watching Clone Wars because Daniel was saying he was in it. He was voicing Boba Fett, so I got into it because it was an excuse to watch it, but I wanted to wait until it was done, completed, and then get into it. We didn't have TV at the time, like cable or satellite, so it wasn't out on Netflix, and so I wanted to wait until it was all completed. So when I heard the Savage was coming back, and he was Darth Maul's brother, I was a little like jealous, you know, like, oh yeah, here we go, you know, there's no Darth Maul, and then they bring Darth Maul back, and I thought he was only going to be back for a little while and then get killed off, like usual. So I didn't pay any attention to it. And then it came out on Netflix, and I was sitting there watching it with my kids, and Darth Maul's in it everywhere. So I turned to my kids and I said, I should have been a better boy. I should have like sent some fruit baskets to George. Maybe they'll bring Darth Maul back, you know? So I was really, really impressed, and I was impressed with Sam who did the voice. And it was good to see. I just wish that Darth Maul had the double-bladed lightsaber and took it off his brother and used it and showed him how to use it. But there's a code, you know, you don't use someone else's weapon, you know. But there was a couple of times he could have gone, yeah, let me show you, but he didn't. You know, he used the traditional gentleman's single saber, you know. But I wanted to see him use two, because Darth Maul can use two single sabers in his hand. You know? Thank you.
All right, another question.
Hello, Mr. I've heard and read that you are a huge Star Wars fan as a kid. How was it learning that they wanted you for that role, and then once you got it, how taxing was the stunt jobs and the other martial artist things that you had to do?
It wasn't taxing at all. Again, it was, excuse me, I had a good time, you know. Like, before that, I was competing for Great Britain, training, sweat, blood, doing a paper round, working in the supermarket at night, stacking shelves. So to get Mortal Kombat and then get Darth and then land Darth Maul was a real dream. It's like all my training had paid off. And so, you know, of course it wasn't the same as training in the gym like I used to do for competition, but my training was used to do the rehearsal. And I was just, again, I was nervous that I'm doing all this rehearsal for a couple of months and I'm not going to get to play Darth Maul. I still couldn't believe that I'm going to play this character. Like, someone's going to pull the rug from my feet, go, I'm going to get someone else, you know. And so I was always on edge that I was never going to play him. So as soon as I was in front of camera as Darth Maul, I was like, all right, I'm going to play him now, you know. Because I didn't think in a million years that I'd be the bad guy in a Star Wars movie. No kid grows up thinking they're going to be in Star Wars. But Star Wars is a complete different universe, you know. I grew up watching it, so to be part of it, and then remembering all the, you know, the feelings I had as a kid and why I got into martial arts was a real thrill, you know. I feel very lucky. For a lot of stuff, they already choreograph a lot of things, apart from like Star Wars and a few other things that have been on. They have a team already there, and then I come in and because they know my ability, and so they try and cater to me, and then I change up a few things depending on if it's my bad leg or my good leg. But I'd like to do some choreography, especially for some of the movie ideas that I have for myself, and some little stories that I've written that I'd like to choreograph some, to showcase my action. But I'm getting older, so it's a little bit different.
We'll finish these questions online.
Thank you. Thanks.
No more in line, but we'll finish these.
This is actually a two-part question. How do you feel about Disney owning the rights to Star Wars, and do you feel like they're going to live up to the standards?
I think it's great that Disney owns Star Wars because now we have more movies to look forward to. I'm not too sure. I mean, I love George Lucas and Lucasfilm, and a story I'll tell you, when I went to, we go to Star Wars weekends in Orlando, and so I've been going there for the last 8 years. It was only a few years ago that I noticed, you know, Marvel was getting really big, and you could buy your t-shirts at Target. So, you know, all the dads, we're all wearing our t-shirts, you know, Thor and Spider-Man and Batman, you know. I see it, you know, it's great. It's like being at a convention, but at school you see all the parents and they're wearing all their Marvel superhero t-shirts. And it was nice to be at the Magic Kingdom and see Marvel, you know. Dr. Princesses, it was really nice. For me, it was like, yeah, there's Captain America, there's Iron Man. So it was good to see that, you know, like, so I was wearing my t-shirt, you know, with pride, you know, because you could only wear Disney t-shirts at one point, you know, but it was nice to see that, you know, it's a good contrast. And for me, it's just, there's more opportunities, more things to watch, because I'm a big fan and I like to watch it, so I'm really excited about the new Star Wars movie, and I know it's going to be good, you know, so I'm going to be watching it like a fan, so I'm going to be 7 years old again.
Oh, I think that Disney is the only company that could have taken over. When I started finding out that they were actually going to take over, I had to keep my mouth closed. I couldn't really tell anyone. There's actually a whole new world going to be built at Disney World for Star Wars. I don't even know if I'm going to say it. So yeah, you'll see me somewhere in the galaxy out there. No, but yeah, I can't wait. You know?
For me, it was like, slow down. He actually made a comment when Ewan and I were doing the end fight scene. He goes, I'm going to have to slow this fight down so people can see it. And I was like, oh, great. And for me, working with George taught me a great lesson as well, because he really showed the action, captured it. There was no fancy dancy, cut in between. He let the audience see the fight in a wide camera lens, and I really appreciate that. It's the greatest demo reel that I've ever had in my life, you know.
I don't remember faster, quicker, and more intense, but when we're doing the asteroids scene where Obi-Wan was chasing us, I had nothing to go off. So he's like, oh, asteroid's coming down. Kind of move, you know, okay, but now? Like, okay. It's really awkward, but yeah, no, he was quiet. I remember one thing he said to me was, Daniel, you ready to come back on Monday and fly spaceships through an asteroid field? I'm like 13 years old, like, I'm really going to space? But yeah, George is amazing. He really is. I mean, he's not as intense as you would think he would be.
You're a great farmer. He's a Jedi master.
And last question.
Last question goes to you. Go ahead.
Hey, buddy.
How long did it take for you, like, to have your scenes, like, in the movie and, like, have it finished? Like, how long did it take?
Who do you want to answer?
Both of you.
I was on the movie it took up like a year or so of my life filming, but the first part, I was rehearsing for a few months, and then filming as Darth Maul maybe a couple of months, so 8 weeks, 10 weeks, and we were there all day, from 5 to 10 sometimes. And you know that they had the greatest food catering on set, but always when I was working in front of the camera in makeup, that they had it. Fanciest food ever, on trays, platters, and I couldn't eat because I was as Darth Maul. Always, and then as same as when I'm Snake Eyes, they bring out all the fancy food, and I'm in the suit doing action, but I can't eat when you're doing action. You know, it makes me sick. So I missed out on having some good food during filming. You know, so I try and go down on my days off and try and get that food. Just wait, you know, like hang out. What are you doing? And it happened one day. I was on my day off, I was having such a great time being Darth Maul. Remember, this is like the biggest thing in my life. And I came down on my day off, it was a Wednesday, it was raining. And guess what happened? I ended up playing an Naboo god. I came down on my day off to get some food, and it was in the palace sequence. You know, when Captain Panaka goes, Princess, we're going to get you out of here, or Queen Amidala, and Padme. And then they'd shoot the window out, and they go through the window. I'm one of the last guards, which you can tell by my bow legs. And I'm sort of like, and Rick McCallum, the producer, and George Lucas had to tell me off because I was holding my laser gun like this. So if you check the movie out, you'll see me on there as a Naboo god, you know. And I try to hide myself a little bit because it was like my day off, but they shoved me in. They, oh, you look good, yeah, you want to work, right? I was like, okay. But now, I wish I'd hand it up a bit. I wish I sort of like try to get in front of the camera and be like, I tried to do it for G.I. Joe, but you wouldn't let me do it. You know, because you never see me. You know, I'm always in makeup or costume, so I wanted to be just in the back. You know, a bit like Stan Lee, do something like I'm doing something silly or like picking my nose in the back.
For me, yeah, it took maybe 2 months. But in those 2 months, I'd go back to New Zealand for a week. They'd fly me back off a couple of days, and they'd fly me back to New Zealand, and then I'd fly back to Australia for a couple of days. But what most people don't realize is they usually take about a year to film, and then a year in just editing. So it took 2 years. I filmed in 2000 and came out in 2002, I think. So I had to wait 2 years and keep my mouth shut for 2 years before I could be like, I'm Boba Fett in Star Wars! But I did keep my mouth shut. I don't know how I did, but I did it.
That's it, thank you.